Good evening. Welcome to the Siddha-Vetha webinar series. So today we have I can say it's the most interesting like to welcome Dr. The speaker Vishwa Vishwanath, and we have our author and speaker Dr. Kannan Rajaram. So I wanted to give an introduction to both of the people. So Dr. Kannan Rajaram was born and brought up at Kanyakumari, Southern India. He is qualified Siddha physician. He is the fourth generation of physician. He has researched for more than 20 years, writing various educational textbooks for students interested in pursuing studies into Varma therapy. There's a vast, this is a shorter version of I'm giving you the intro. They have done research. He has done research for more than, he has reviewed or done research on more than 100 Varma, OLHOD, palm script, and then also more than 3,000 books or palm script, he has reviewed. So that's the most authentic information we can get about Varma, which is the very, very fundamental science. And you will see as you're going to, is one of his core disciple. He has he himself has different kind of experience in Kundalini and other areas. But he also wanted to see like the core truth of where this whole principle is taking. And he found this master, and he has 20 years of healing experience, now continues to successfully treat many of his clients suffer from complicated ailments both in India and Sri Lanka with touch therapy, healing, and Varma. Is now the international coordinator for the Varma medicine and research, Kanyakumari, and he is here with us now. And most of Dr. Kannan Rajaram's work is in Tamil, and it's now getting translated because they are very authentic people. Some of the regions, now only we are talking about translations, but they, it takes immense knowledge and also wisdom to actually decipher and decode the information from the palm leaves. So that's a very, very different area. So we're very lucky enough to have them here, and his disciple, Mr. Vishwanath. I've been speaking very interesting topics. We have been interacting, and that's why I'm very much interested in in this topic. So I welcome Mr. Vishwanath to start this. Sir, please unmute and you can start, sir.
Hello, a very good evening to all of you. My name is Vishwa. Thank you, Dr. Sundaramurthy, for giving us this opportunity to share our views about the knowledge which we have acquired over a period of time on this divine science of Varma. So it is like, standing before a great ocean, and you're trying to decipher what is there, what are inside the depths of the ocean. You're trying to pick a few topics which will interest the audience in this short period of time. So let me try to present it as much as possible so that you can get a good gist of what really this divine science is. Right. See, this actually they say a very small story which is written in the ancient palm leaf scriptures. What they say is one day Lord Shiva with his consort Parvati keeps traveling in the skies in the regions, and they see a hunter fall down from a tree and faint on the spot. So generally mothers are very compassionate and they're very loving and they are giving. So Parvati requests Lord Shiva to go and heal that hunter. So Shiva comes down from the skies, goes to the ground and looks at the hunter. He takes a golden staff which he has in his hands and just does a small tap on a particular spot of the body. Like instantly the hunter revives and he keeps walking. And Parvati was surprised. Oh my God, what is this? What did you do? So that was a surprise. And then Lord Shiva explains, no, what I did was Varma therapy for that person. Oh my God, is there something like that, a Varma therapy? Can you explain to me? So like they say that Varma originated like this, the therapy of Varma originated like this. So from Shiva to Parvati, from Parvati to her son, Lord Subramaniam, which is Lord Muruga, then from on to the great Mahasiddhas or the enlightened being, sage Agastya. You might have heard of these names, the Mahasiddha Agastya. Then from there on to Mahasiddha Bogar and all those things. Now, this divine science originated at least 5,000 years. That's a minimum period we can say, at least 5,000 years. And this is the first therapy known to mankind, the first therapy that is ever known to mankind. And every science today, healing science, I'm talking about alternative medicines, not about the conventional English medicines. Every single therapy that is known, that has a very strong background, has a proper energetic anatomy, definitely gets its roots from this therapy of Varma. Okay. Now, what is this term Varma, Varma, Varma? So it's like giving you one more line of introduction to Varma. See, this therapy originated in the Lemurian continent. The Lemurian continent is now underneath the Indian Ocean. It has been submerged. It was a very huge continent. They say that life first came not in Africa. Life came into Earth. The first life, man and women, came into Earth on the Lemurian continent. We have palm leaf scriptures stating all those things. And Dr. Kannan Rajaram has the possession of all those palm leaf scriptures. So many of them are there. This is formed to the Lemurian continent. Lemurian continent starts from the tip of India, extends on its left side till Australia, on its right side till Australia, and left side till Madagascar, Africa, till the point. So it was such a huge continent, and that was a wonderful place where people were living like kings, and they were at the peak of the civilization when the rest of the world wasn't civilized that much. It was such a and slowly, when the parts got consumed by the sea, then everything came back, and now it stands at the tip of India, which is now called as Kanyakumari. That is where Dr. Kannan Rajaram is born, and he wrote all the material. So we are fortunate to learn Varmam from a person who is from the place where Varmam actually originated. That is something special there. So maximum palm leaf scriptures and handwritten scriptures and manuscripts, everything are available maximum in Kanyakumari. That is something to say. Okay. Now, what is this Varmam? What are we using this term Varmam? Varmam are nothing but energy points. In simple terms, they are energy points. Now, these energy points, it's not like, see, you can compare them to acupressure points, acupuncture points, but these are very, very high in sense when compared to acupressure and acupuncture points. Now, the vital force keeps circulating in energy channels. Actually, vital force keeps circulating in energy. See, you have a physical body. Inside the physical body, you have the veins and arteries. Now, blood circulation happens to them. Very similar to that, there is a invisible but a really present energy body around us. It's in the shape of an oval. Now, many therapies these days say that, like pranic healing and Reiki and so many other therapies. Even Kirlian photography has proved that we have an aura that is called as the aura, and we have the energy field around us. Now, in the energy field, there are energy channels, subtle energy channels through which the energy flow happens. The flow of the circulation of energy happens. Now, here, rather than using the word energy, I would like to use the original term, which is called as a vachi. Vachi, Vachi. Now, some people pronounce it as Vasi. That is not right. Vachi is the correct pronunciation. Now, the same person who was responsible, the same Mahasiddha like Lord, Guru Bohar, who established Varmam in India, went to China and then established acupuncture and various other sciences there. So it is from this term Vachi, the term Qi was coined by the Chinese to denote energy. You should know that. So this is actually the circulation of Vachi around energy channels. So how harmonious the energy circulation is, how proper it is, and how it ought to be. So all those decide whether the person is going to be healthy or the person is going to go in a pathological condition, in the disease condition. That is what it means. Now, the therapy of Varma is nothing but to harmonize this. Now, see, the flow of Vachi gets impeded in various ways. Like, let us say there is a physical trauma. Now, somebody gets hit in a particular place, then energy gets either stagnant or the energy in that place gets deranged. The energy, maybe the quality of the Vachi gets altered. Altered in the sense, say, for example, everything in Varma, we classify them as a fusion of the 5 basic elements. I'm sure most of you would be familiar with the 5 basic elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Now, everything is a fusion. Either it is a combination of earth and water, or is it a combination of water and something, or is it a combination of air and space? So everything comes under this permutation combination. That is it. Now, when the Vachi is present there in its own density, the energy is present in the density it ought to be. But the fusion of the elements in that particular place is not proper, then again there is a problem. Energy does not jump properly at the right speed from one point to the other point, like one Varma point to the other Varma point, then there is a problem. Now, when there is a flow of when there is an impeded flow of energy to a particular Varma point, there is a problem. When there is a problem with the outlet of energy flow from the Varma point, there is a problem. Now, to be giving you a rough figure, Varma, we have around 400 plus Varma points. Now, they say that invisibly inside the body, which can be triggered only with the thought process and with higher spiritual practices, there are like thousands of Varmas, they say. But visibly on the physical body, we have 400 Varma points, which can be utilized, that can be manipulated to restore back health into the to the system, thereby bringing back, reinstating this thing. Now, many sciences today, they focus just on the physical body. I want to heal the physical body. Now, let us assume they take this small analogy. Somebody meets with an accident, let us say the limbs are broken or fractured or injured or bruised or whatever it is. Let us take that case. Now, you can go for an emergency allopathic medication like modern medicine. You can get yourself treated. But you are getting yourself treated for the physical part, but you are getting affected in your mind. You are getting affected in your spirit. Your spirit, all the energies become deranged. You become totally, you are in a shock. So modern medicine doesn't do anything to overcome the shock. The maximum thing they can do is give you a sedative so that they can make you sleep and do that. But Varma science, Varma therapy, therapy like Varma alone can make you completely recover from all these things. See, there is something called as a whole. Varmam is a whole. Like you name it and it is there. Anything you name it, and in regarding healing and inner sciences, Varmam has all those things. See, that is what they say. Knowing Varmam is knowing one's own self. Now, what Varmam does is, see, usually we are not in our center. Human beings are made to be in perpetual joy all the time. But unfortunately, what happens is because of the emotional, mental shocks due to physical traumas, due to family environment situations and the society conditions in the society, so many things don't happen the way it ought to happen. So what happens is the flow of energy gets disrupted, and then you fall into a disease, and then the need comes in for something like Varmam to come in to completely cure you, to pull you out of the things. So when you do Varmam and when you follow Varma therapy, all the ingredients that are given into the Varma therapy, it brings you back to the center of your being, which is what we want. Now, it lets you see things unprejudiced. It lets you see things as they are without any bias. That is something. So like I told you a few moments back, knowing Varmam is knowing one's own self. Knowing Varmam is knowing the divine. Knowing Varmam is tapping into the inner spirituality within ourselves. So there are various aspects in Varmam which I would like to explain as brief as possible, but as informative as possible, so that the reader, the audience, can know what the therapy really is. That is it. Now, treating the Varma points, like acupressure. See, acupressure, what they do is they do a clockwise rotation to tonify the point. They do a anti-clockwise rotation to sedate the point. All those things are there. They use needles in acupuncture. So various things like that are there. So like that, in Varmam, there are about 45 different operations on a single Varma point. 45 different operations. They are known by, right now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Tamil language. They say that Anukkal, Amartal, Nalukkal, so many things, so many operations are there. Like press, you vibrate, then you settle, then you slip stroke. So those are the various terms which is called. Then you do a process called as concealing, then you do a process called as striking. So you have about at least about 45 methods of operating your Varma points. That is there. Now, with these operations and manipulations, what does it cover, and what does Varma have? So this question can be rephrased. Rather than asking what does Varma have, if you ask this question, what Varma doesn't have, it is easier to answer. It encompasses such a very wide range of these things, and we are like fortunate enough to have Dr. Kannan Rajaram to take up almost everything in Varma and make them as books. So he has written various books which I have with me. Let me show you those books so that you'll know what is really happening and like that. Now, first of all, Varma therapy deals with the therapeutic aspect of healing diseases. Therapeutic aspects. Now, I have a headache, I have high blood pressure, I'm a diabetic, I have nervous debility. Somebody known in my circles is suffering from autism. He has Parkinson's disease. He has he has rigidity of the neck, and all those conditions, they can be healed. There is a very wide range of diseases you can heal using Varma therapy with the manipulation of all those things. You can. It is quite possible with Varma therapy. Now, the other thing is, it is not just the physical body Varmam addresses. That's something you have to note. Now, see, when you consider on a spiritual seance, we all have 5 bodies. You might have heard of this term kosham. Kosham is a sheath surrounding the physical body. Now, it is like the soul has all these bodies. It is not that a body has a soul. It is actually the other way around. Like it is like you are like your father. Your father is not like you. So like that, the soul has some 4 or 5 vehicles. In the spiritual seances, the soul has 5 bodies. But when you consider it in the Varma sense, we have 3 bodies. One, the visible physical body, which you and I can see visibly, we can touch, we can feel, all those things. That is a visible physical body. Number 2 is the subtle body or the energy body, where energy circulation at one level happens. And number 3 is called as a causal body. Causal body is rightly named because that is the cause for that. It contains the root cause of all the diseases where you can go and address. So when you just treat the physical body, for instance, if you have a headache, now actually what happens is, on an energetic anatomy, on an energetic point of view, when you have the energy circulation is in harmony. You are in the flow. You are in the center of your being. You are balanced. You are in the flow. But when the energy flow gets impeded, let us say it gets stuck up somewhere, it keeps pushing. It doesn't. It's not able to move further. And there, what happens then? The energy flow begins to get stagnant, and it begins to affect all the other areas. It goes and nourishes, and so many things happen. And eventually, you land up into a disease condition. Then you require so many medications. Now, just not treating the physical body would give you a proper healing. See, there is something called as a holistic healing or the wholesome healing. You heal the mind, spirit, and the body. It's not just the physical body. Now, Varmam beautifully heals these 2 bodies also, like the visible physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body. Now, when you learn the science of Varma, this divine science, you will be learning what are these bodies, what is the cause of all these things. Now, to give you a small analogy of what these bodies are, now you consider the case of a peptic ulcer. Peptic ulcer is there. Now physically, the wound is there. That is a physical body aspect that is there. Now, there is a reason behind the now when you have ulcer, there is an excess of hydrochloric acid secreting in your stomach, in your abdominal cavity. That is the cause. That is a causal body. Now, when an ulcer is there, how do you see the person? The person is literally frustrated. Pain is too much. Oh my God, I can't bear the pain. It's very frustrating. Usually, when you see somebody like very frustrated, they ask you, "Are you having ulcer? Why are you doing like this? Are you having piles? Why are you behaving like this?" So that is the mental aspect of it. There comes in the subtle body. So you treat the Varma points so that all these three bodies can be very effectively treated, and you can bring all the three bodies in the same speed. Like one is running in 70 mile per hour, the other one is running in 30 mile per hour, the other one is running in 150 miles per hour. So when everything begins to travel in 70 miles per hour, then there comes in the harmony, and that is a real health, and that is real wellness, and being really healthy. That is what it actually means. That is there. So Varma is very capable of addressing all these three bodies: the visible physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body, thereby completely healing the condition, whatever it is that you can do. Then it's very effective in treating the diseases of the mind. Now there are certain Varma points on the head. Now you just simply stimulate them the proper way. You can bring irritation to a person in a jiffy. You won't believe. Within a few seconds, a person will literally frown at you like that. And the same you can do, when you use it as a therapeutic move, you can calm down the person instantly. Like the person is in a lot of mental chaos. He's not able to calm down. The person is like in so much of emotional turmoil. You can manipulate certain points in the head area. You can like calm him down within a matter of few minutes. I've personally done that in my life, and I've seen beautiful results. So that is possible. So it actually heals the mind, mind, spirit, and the body in a very effective way. That is quite possible. So disease of the mind can be very effectively. Somebody is lacking in intelligence. Somebody's memory retention capacity is very low. So all those things can be very easily treated. Now, I'm unable to focus my mind. My concentration powers are very poor. You can definitely enhance all these things using the therapy, the divine science of Varma. That is there. Then Varma speaks about something which I can vouch at this moment, saying no other therapy that exists on earth talks about trauma. What do you mean by trauma? See, for instance, you just want go and slap a person on the face. That is insignificant. That doesn't matter. But when you go and do a chop or a hit on a Varma spot, then that is called as a real Varma trauma. No other therapy, including acupuncture, acupressure, nobody or no other therapy talks about Varma trauma. Very, very important. Somebody has fainted. Immediately you can do relieving methods to bring the person very quickly out of it. Like I heard my guru, my teacher, Dr. Kannan Rajaram, saying that in a matter of 7 to 8 minutes, the person who was dead like a log of wood was awake and he was talking. So that is the beautiful thing you can do. You can relieve somebody of the trauma that happens. See, very beautifully, they say, see, let me point out a book to you. See, right now, all these books are in Tamil. This is one of the books written by Dr. Kannan Rajaram. Now, this book underlines and lists something like this. In this page, it says, see, there is something called as a unit of pressure. The unit of pressure you use to stimulate or manipulate a Varma point. Now, when there is a trauma happening in 1/4 of a unit, what are the signs and symptoms? What are the relieving methods you undertake? What are the internal medicines you give? Internal or external medicines you give? When the unit of trauma is in half a unit, what are the signs and symptoms? What are the relieving methods you do? What are the internal medications? So like that, you have a very wide range of traumas that is given. Nothing pays importance to traumatology as Varma pays. So what you do is, you don't just, as I told you before, and I reiterate, Varma just doesn't treat the visible physical body. Now, you might have recovered from a trauma. You get hit, you face an accident, something is broken, something is dislocated, and something is bruised. All those things happen. Now, the bruise in the physical body, the fracture in the physical body can be easily set right by modern medicine. But how about the mental aspect of it? You are in a shock. How to bring you out? So all those things can be very, very effectively done in the therapy of Varma, like a cakewalk. It is so easy. If you just know the right methods, like this, you can recover. Somebody is suffering from epileptic fits, like literally hands and limbs and all those are jerking. You can bring that person very quickly out of the condition that is there. So you have a lot of relieving methods which Varma science has to explain to completely relieve the condition that is there. Then it talks about the biological clocks and energy channels. There are 12 energy channels. Even acupuncture talks about 12 energy channels. But the way Varma talks, the primary channels and the subsidiary channels and so many things. Now we say, when I travel, when I do a long distance travel, like I travel from India to the United States, it's like 18 hours of journey or 20 hours of journey. So in that case, my biological clock gets disrupted that way. So from 6 to 8, a particular energy channel keeps running. From 8 to 10, the next channel takes over and it keeps running. Now, when there is a problem with a particular channel, when there is a problem with the primary channel of that particular channel, then what happens? When there is a problem with the secondary, subsidiary branches of that channel, what happens? So Varma explains in a very beautiful way how to explain. Now, simple stimulations. Now these days, it is a commonly misunderstood thing that Varma is just stimulation of the Varma points. It is not so. It is never so. I can talk about the various manipulation methods that are available in Varma for a whole day. There are so much of stuff in the Varma therapy you can very effectively utilize to get around all those things. Now, for instance, see, the right leg is connected to the left part of the body, left hand and left side of the face. Similarly, the left leg is connected to the right side of the body. I can tell you a small example. Now, this is how the channels move. Actually, might have heard of these terms: Idakalai, Pingalai channels, Sushumna channel, or Churimune channels. Actually, Churimune is the right term. So Churimune channels, like this, 12 channels are like Purudan, Kandari. So many channels are there. Let's forget about the names. Now, I was like treating a patient with a pain in the left shoulder joint. So for 2 days, I was giving in Varma and none of it worked. Then suddenly I remembered there is a crisscross energy flow happening. And what I did was, I sat on the floor and I treated his right leg. Within 15 to 20 minutes, his left shoulder goes away. Now, this is my knowledge in the Varma channels that help me to cure diseases. So beautifully it works. Like, there is a channel for the eyes, there are channels for the ears, there are channels for the sides of the mouth, there are channels for the noses, there is channel for the heart, for the spleen, for the lung, for the kidney, and so many other things. You name it, like that. So major organs, you have these things. Then let us come to a very fascinating topic of chakras. Now, everybody on earth wants to do yoga. They want to do meditations and they want to master chakras and everything. Now, one hard way, a very difficult way that doesn't appeal to many of the people is awakening the chakras, purifying them, and then bringing them to the proper state so that you can evolve into higher spiritual practice. But you know how beautifully the science of Varma teaches you how to stimulate, how to purify a chakra, how to de-energize a chakra with a particular Varma massage, how to energize a chakra with a particular Varma massage, just using Varmams. Can you believe it? It's such beautiful. And so it's like effective. Like, let us assume that I am a very serious spiritual practitioner. There is a block in my Anahata chakra, in my heart chakra. Let us assume. Now, one way is you can do yogic postures to relieve that. You can do special pranayamas to relieve that. You can chant certain mantras, divine syllables in order to do that. But the easiest way is using Varma techniques and Varma massage. There are stroking techniques. So when you use them, when you manipulate certain Varmas related to the chakra, automatically the chakra harmonizes and energy begins to flow. Now, in the spine, there are 5 knots that are given. They are called as grandhis. In Sanskrit, they are called it grandhis. Now, they are like safety valves preventing accidental arousal of kundalini, so that thereby causing a severe damage to due to overload of the nervous system, the entire nervous system. Now, those knots can be opened in yoga with very, very strenuous practice. With very minor and proper Varma operations, you can open those knots and you can spearhead your spiritual practice. Can you believe? Now, I would like to register something here which might shock some of you or which might make you frown like, what does this guy say? Now, I stand by what I say. I vouch for this. The yoga field is good. It is offering a beautiful science, a very easy science, easy to do at home, science to rectify our health and all those things. But the entire yoga science throughout the world is wrong about chakras. I repeat, quote unquote, the entire yoga field is wrong about chakras. Now, why are you saying this, Vishwa? You may ask me. Now, the arrangement of petals, as it is written in the ancient scriptures, Varma alone says that in the right way. So there are so many modern therapies that talk about chakras and everything is wrong. Let me give you a small example. The Mooladhara chakra, the base chakra, the perineum chakra, that is supposed to have 4 petals. Now, the 4 petals, as given by yoga, even by renowned teachers, I don't want to name anybody, even given by very renowned teachers and very old teachers, they say there are 4 petals: top right, top left, and bottom right. That is wrong. Varma says there are 4 petals, one on the top, one on the bottom, one on the left, one on the right. That is how it says. And can you believe something? This could be startling and shocking to some of you. When a petal is injured, when a petal is hurt or traumatized, what sort of an ailment you will face in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit? How to rectify that? Varma alone gives a solution. Nobody, no other science gives. See, please don't think that I'm obsessed with this science. I know about 22, 23 therapies, alternative therapies. I'm very familiar with all those things. I've employed them with great success in my healing career of so many years, like more than 15, 20 plus years. But this is something very unique. This and touch therapy, which I advocate, is something extremely unique. And touch therapy has originated from Varma. That is to say, something is there. So Varma science is actually, covering everything. So when a particular petal of a chakra is injured, now what happens to all the energy aspects of the body? How much the mind, body, and spirit gets affected, and how to rectify that? Only Varma says. Can you believe? So this is something which something is not there. Then Varma deals about fractures and dislocations, like when there is a fracture happening to some part of the body, let us say, then how to set them right. No, that is for an expert level, but I'm just saying Varma still covers all these things. Now, how to set right the dislocation or the fracture, how to use splints and how to immobilize, and how to use external medicine, how to take internal medicine, and all of those. Now, something Varma has, so one of the unique specialities that Varma has is the usage of its own set of medicines, its own set of internal and external medicines. Now, I should say here that they say that Siddha-Varma, there is nothing like Siddha-Varma. Or if you say Siddha-Varma, is there something called as Ayurveda-Varma? Is there something called as Unani-Varma? It is nothing like that. Varmam is Varmam, that's all. What is the Ayurvedic adaptation of it is different. So it is not like, Siddha, they say that they have brought in Varma below the department of Siddha. Actually, it should be the other way around. Siddha should be brought underneath Varma, because Varma is a superset of Siddha. Because Varma has its own medicine. None of the medicines that Varma therapy has, Siddha medicine do not have. This is entirely different from this thing. Say, for example, now there is a Varma over here between the eyebrows. It's called a stiller the Varma. Let's forget the name for now. Now that gets traumatized, and what happens is you do all the relieving methods to get out all these to get the energy flow flowing. Now, what particular oil you use to massage this to perfectly bring in the healing condition, and what sort of internal medicines you take in order to offset the effect which it has produced on the subtle bodies. So it is that effective. That is a beautiful aspect of Varma. So, like, I've given you a small gist of what Varma is. As I told you, I can keep talking about Varma for days together because I am awed at the science, awed, AWED, awed at the science. Because I've been very gifted to see, even if you're a normal student, you'd just be reading through books. You could skip pages, you could skip paragraphs. But as a translator, I'm translating all the books written by Dr. Kannan Rajaram in Tamil to English language. So I'm doing the translation. Almost some 5-6 books are over, another 3 or 4 more to go. So I had to read every single word in the book so that I can assimilate, I can translate it to the best. So as a person who has translated and a person who has gone through every single word in that book, I can appreciate this divine science and what it is. And he's unique, that is it. And here, let me take a few minutes to talk about Dr. Kannan Rajaram. Dr. Kannan Rajaram, as introduced by Dr. Shanmughamurthy, now he's a qualified Siddha doctor. He has spent more than 22 years or 23 years in researching just about Varma. I have seen the collection of palm leaf scriptures called as Olachuvadi. That is in his collection. And I was literally shocked, like 3,000 bundles of palm leaf scriptures. He has personally gone through 100 bundles of palm leaf scriptures and he has done extensive research. I can right now challenge you. The books he has written, see, this is book number 1. This is book number 1, which we are translating in English language. This covers one aspect. Now, how to measure the points using thread measurement techniques and how to go by that. So it beautifully says, now if you go to any particular page, they say, see, if you stimulate a point in 1/8 of a unit, what are the diseases that can be cured? If you stimulate the same point in 1/4 of a unit, what are the diseases that can be cured? If you stimulate the point in half a unit, then what happens? If you stimulate if you get injured in 3/4, then what happens? So all those things are given, how to stimulate the point and all those things. So like that, Dr. Kannan Rajaram has written so far like 5 books right now. See, this one is on stimulation methods, thread measurement techniques. The other one, the yellow color one, is on finger measurement techniques and relieving methods. The third one is when energy gets stagnant in a place, then how to relieve the stagnations. The fourth is entirely on the energy channels, 12 subtle channels, and so many other things. This is on the book on chakras. This is the most coveted book. It says how exactly the chakra petals are organized, how things are done. So nobody else has written in so many diversified topics in this field of Varma. He's a pioneer, and he's one of the very few authentic people, authentic references today existing in today's world. And the most important thing you should see is he does not say out of a minute. He doesn't say that, oh, I got it as a message from God, I'm writing it down. I think it is like that. There is no thinking, there are no assumptions. Now, whatever he says, if he says that the location of a Varma is like that, if the stimulation aspect of a Varma is like that, it is all given with the reference. In this book, this chapter, like, they say in Bible, now Matthew 12:15, what does it say? So similar to that, he quotes everything from authentic palm leaf scriptures. So that is a specialty of Dr. Kannan Rajaram. And he has written so many books and so many books in progress. Like so far, 5 books are over in Tamil language, and another 3 are almost over. Now I've translated around 6, 7 books. Now 2 other books on the other arenas. Now they are being typeset in a couple of months. They should be ready. So once the books are ready in English, you can buy them from Dr. Shanmughamurthy, like Siddha-Vetha organization. You can make them available. So this is the minimum. I've cut short myself. I can keep talking for hours together because this is such a huge, vast science and everything. So hope this is a little bit helpful and to give you a small insight into this beautiful therapy, into this divine therapy. So let me pause here. You're welcome to any questions you have, any doubts, queries you might have regarding what we have spoken or anything about Varma therapy. I'd be glad to answer them.
Okay, we are open for questions. And I would like to, on behalf of the, because I wanted you to see the potential of Varma, what all it can explain. So I'm going to ask few questions so it can benefit everyone. So,
okay.
So for example, I am waking up late, right? In modern science, it doesn't matter if I'm waking up at 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, wherever I can sleep and wake up anytime. So, okay, so science doesn't explain the consequences of this. So what does Varma tell about waking up early morning versus late?
Okay.
In terms of body point of view? Yes.
Yeah, I get you. See, Varma science specifically doesn't designate any time where you can wake up or sleep. But this much I can say, there are 12 energy channels. Now each channel runs for 2 hours a day. Like it starts from, it starts from the sunrise and it is till sunset, and from sunset till sunrise. So it is like 24 hours like that. Many other therapies like acupuncture and others, their day starts at 3 a.m. in the morning. But in Varma, the day starts with the sunrise, like whether it is 6:15 or 6:20 or 5:55. Or they say it is the microcosm within the macrocosm and the macrocosm within the microcosm. So they say in India it is a common practice in evening, like 6 o'clock. Don't lie down. It is not. It is unhealthy for you to lie down because so many changes are happening in the cosmos. So at that time, you're supposed to keep your spine erect, and you are supposed to at least do your normal activities, if not for spiritual practices. So the time 6 to 8, if you can wake up early in the morning, like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and if you can do your breathing practice, or at least you can wake up and do a lot of breathing. See, when you're sleeping, your breathing is very shallow. When you're awake and when you're consciously breathing, definitely it reaps a lot of health benefits into the thing. So thereby you are giving an extra push and impetus to the channels that are running uh, in your system. So that way, waking up early is a good thing. So when you know about channels, you will know what is the beautiful time. Even Varmams, when you operate, so this particular Varmam at the mid of the eyebrow center, if you operate it at 6 to 8 in the morning, and if you operate it at 2 to 4 in the afternoon, and if you operate it at 10 to 12 in the night, there is a huge difference. It is not one and the same. So according to which channel is active and what work you do, definitely that gives a huge difference. Hope it answers.
Yes. So the next question, you also can, people, if you have questions, you can raise. I'm going to ask a couple of questions in the meantime. You can raise your hands. Not like therapeutic questions. You can ask general questions, so everybody can get benefited. So that it's useful for everyone. Okay. Suppose, so you're talking about like today I wanted to do a fasting. So can I do fasting anytime, or particular seasons, particular month? Why we are choosing particular months? What happens? Please tell us.
Yeah, thank you, doctor. That's a beautiful question. If you are an Indian or of Indian origin, or you have Indian friends, you might have heard them say this term, Kartige Masam. That's what they say in Tamil. Like November, December. That is how. See, Tamil months are totally different, a little bit different from English calendar. That's a different thing. So what happens is, in a particular, the energy circulation every month, in every hour of every day, the new moon starts at the new moon, the energy is stationed at a particular part of the body. The next day it moves to another station. The next day it moves to another station. Have you heard of this term? Like somebody, now I've personally seen somebody die like this. The hand at the very middle of the elbow, it breaks into two and they die on the spot. Why would somebody die because just the elbow cracked into two? It is because the energy level, this is called as Amardhanalaya or Vachi, at that moment of the fracture or at the moment of the trauma, if it is stationed in that particular place, it means instant death. So, for instance, let us assume that my energy today in the moon cycle, it is stationed over here. If somebody even normally with a proper force hits me over here, there is a possibility that I might die. That is always there. Now, similar to that, to the moons of the cycle, now there are 12 months in a year. In Tamil, there are 12 months in a year. So what happens is each month, the energy is stationed at a particular place. Now, the Mooladhara, which is called as a perineum, Now, in the month of Kartika, as you inquired, like November and then December beginning or something like that, the energy is stationed at the Kundalini, at the place where the Kundalini resides, at the perineum. Now, at that point, it is nourishing that area and it is nourishing the entire body. Kundalini force, if you're not using it for spiritual purpose, it is also awakened for a normal man to perform all the body's physiological functions and all the energetic aspects that is required. So when fasting is, when they impose fasting on you on that particular month, you're not supposed to waste a drop of sperm. That is the right thing. If you don't waste the sperm, if you conserve the sperm, if you indulge into, even if you don't indulge in the spiritual practice, if you indulge it is a nice thing. Doing your pranayamas, do your yogic kriyas and many other things, then definitely it is going to enhance your mental well-being. It is going to enhance your spiritual well-being, your physical well-being into many folds. So this all depends on Varma tells you in this particular month. That is why marriages happen in India at a particular month. It is very suitable because the energy is stationed at a particular point in the body is conducive for whatever task we are undertaking. So that is how the months of November, December, that is Kartika Masam in Tamil, is very, very suitable for fasting. That's an apt time to fast. That's what they say.
Okay. So one more question, I will finish, then we can let the audience. So so this is also a very important question. If somebody have a fracture or breaks, like say for example near the Adapakalam somewhere, and he goes to a surgeon. So what are the chances that a surgeon can cut and affect the marma point and the patient can die?
Beautiful, beautiful. See, what happens is, so in modern science, please don't think that I'm talking less of modern science. I'm not. It is for emergencies, modern science is the best thing you can take, because to stop a bleeding, immediately to put sutures, to set right a fractured bone or anything like that, that is the best. But when it comes to the term cure, quote unquote, cure is real healing happening to the core. And modern science definitely fails, and so many other sciences don't offer a proper healing. Now, what happens is when a particular spot is bruised, let us assume that this spot is bruised for me. Now, conventional science, medical science tends to treat this particular part of the body. That's all. They give you a liniment, they give you a bandage, they give you a splint, they immobilize this place, they give you painkillers so that you don't feel the pain of the body. But when a particular part of this body is traumatized, because of this trauma, what other parts of the body are affected? What other varmams of the body are affected? It may eventually lead. See, do you know this? When you get hit on a varma, after 18 months, the person may turn insane. There are indications like that. When you get hit, nothing happens. You'll wake up from your unconsciousness, you'll wake up from your fainting. But after 12 years, you'll land up into a serious ailment. There are things like that. See, if, now, sir, Dr. Shanmughamurthy mentioned something like Adapakalam. Adapakalam is a varmum that is present at the sides of the ribs. Now, one small chop over there, for your entire life, you will be a lung patient. No medicine, nothing can revive. Only with Varma you can revive that. One small tap at the side with the proper pressure, but just one chop would do. The person will remain like this thing, like for his entire life. So conventional medicine system will go and try to treat the lung actually, but the problem and the root cause lies elsewhere. It is in the Varma. So only when you perform relieving methods and strokings and all the other things, and eventually the problem can be rectified. So otherwise, a medical doctor who's not open in his mind about these alternative therapies, he might just treat the problem and he might not treat the underlying root cause. Like, to give you an analogy, you boil milk in a pot, in a vessel. When the milk begins to boil and pour out, what is the thing you do? You switch off the stuff. That is the most prudent thing to do. Rather than that, if you keep sprinkling water, that is not the solution. That is an interim solution. The milk keeps boiling and finally the vessel gets spoiled, it gets charred. So what we mean to say here is addressing the very root of the problem so that you can find out a real proper solution which can cure. It's a very important, cure the ailment. So that is why many people who undergo trauma, when they are treated by conventional medicine system, they are unable to address these root core aspects of the problem, and then they are not able to give a treatment. So that is the point over here.
Okay, so let me
sorry, I'll take one more minute. I forgot to say this point. You can also do distance healing with Varma therapy. There is a possible. There is a possibility. You can sit in front of the person, gaze at a particular point. You can give energy. You can give vachi to the person. Let us assume that you are in the United States and I'm in India. From here, I can treat you. So even before the advent of these therapies like Reiki and pranic healing and all those distance healing techniques, even before 5,000 years, these techniques have been there. I just forgot that point. And I have to say, sorry about that. Yeah, please continue.
Thank you for mentioning that. Because I have been looking for people who are of similar. I have been treating people from remote, and some, as I was mentioning, operating, Meitinda Kalavarma. This is actually some area that really needs a lot of work, because people do heal here also. I have seen people who are healing in general, but they don't really operate certain particular Varma point. They generally do like Reiki kind of healing. But this is another area to really look at, where, this kind of condition in Corona times, we cannot touch people, but
True.
healing wise, it can be done. I have seen a very practical case from here to Andhra district. A girl, she was 14 years, Telangana, and she was a football player. She broke her ligament, and she couldn't walk. So there was no Corona center nearby. So I started to heal for around 14 days, and she's completely fine. And people,
that's great.
doctors were really surprised. They said, ligaments broken cannot be treated, without any surgery, that kind of thing. So this is real, sir. What you're talking is very authentic information. So I'm going to ask Ravi.
One second, Dr. Shanmamurthy. Sorry, I missed out one more point, which is very vital. This might really interest a reader. How do you know the status of your chakras? Are your chakras healthy? If not, which chakra is healthy, which is not healthy? Well, if I tell you, will you believe? With pulse diagnosis, you can tell which chakra is good, which chakra is lacking. Varma tells you that how to do that. There is one fascinating aspect. How would it be for somebody to check your pulses and tell you your Swadhisthana chakra is not healthy, your Anahata chakra is over-energized, your Ajna chakra is very powerful. So it has things like that. Yeah, I'm sorry, you can ask your other questions.
No, you can take your time, that's fine. Now, audience, Ravi Kandasamy, please go ahead. You can ask a question, and then I will move on to others according to their. Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening, sir. First of all, thank you for this wonderful session. It's an eye-opening, and it's always amazing to see our science, so much profound and so much depth knowledge, and at least we are getting to know more about it at this at this time. My question is, if you want to learn Varma, can we learn it just by reading the books, or do we have to go and learn to a guru or a teacher in person? Because being here in this country, we don't have a choice. We cannot go to school, and a lot of things, with the family and all, we cannot even do that. But if it is possible for us to learn by reading books and attending some online classes, it will be good. So is that possible?
See, it is possible. So, but let me tell you the pros and the cons. Now, the English book which we are translating, I've ensured that I'm not using any complicated jargons. I've tried to put it as simple as possible. You don't have to refer the dictionary. All you'll have to do is just read the line, and that line will be going into your mind as very plain, clear, neat English that is there. You can very well understand. You can understand where the Varma points are. It will give you precise locations, like from the center of the eyebrow, measure 4 fingers sideways, and you reach a particular point. That is how it says. It is easy for you to learn. But when it comes to Varma manipulation, remember sometime back I showed you a book written by Dr. Kannan Rajaram, saying that, now there is a point. If you feather touch the point, the effects are different. If I give a light pressure, what is it? Now, if you give a moderate pressure, what happens? If you give a harder pressure, what happens? Now, this pressure, how to do, or the relieving methods. Now, what you do is you make a person sit and you just stroke the front and back parts of the body, the anterior and posterior of the body. You do all those things. So those things, without practicals, it is very difficult for you to perform it just by reading the book. But yes, by reading the book, you can definitely, you'll get a beautiful insight into this therapy. Certain small things you can try. Like, for example, I have a headache. Now, we would recommend certain points. It says gently press, rotate, and lift up. So there are very, very easy methods given to stimulate. So self you can do. But most of the things, it is better if you learn it from somebody, from a guru practically. See, in olden days, what they say is, you have to go to a guru. Like I'm saying years back, like hundreds of thousands of years back. You have to go to a guru, you have to beg him, please admit me into your Gurukulam, in your school. So I want to learn Varma. What the guru does, he makes him do all the very horrible work in the Gurukulam, in that school. So like sweeping and mopping and washing vessels and everything. They test him for 12 years. I repeat, they test him for 12 years. Even after those 12 years, if that student has the same N2, then they offer him Varma. Now you can know what is the seriousness of how Varma. Now these days, it is not possible for somebody to go to a Gurukulam and then learn. That is a very tedious thing. So answering your question again, you can read the book, you can totally understand simple elements you can do. But when you are doing relieving methods, when you are destagnating Varmams, when you are doing complicated operations, a practical class alone will tell you the right way of it.
Thank you, sir. I think what we are planning to offer course in Varma. So if you are interested, you can take our courses. You can register for the courses. So we are pretty soon, in maybe another 10 days or so, we will discuss and we will let you know. So this is one of the reasons we have the speakers today. So the speakers, we are not just letting, just for the speech. We wanted to bring the science, and some of them, as Mr. Vishwanath was talking about, you can give scientific things like what he was talking now in the, as course. But when it comes to real practical things, it could be very dangerous if you're not operating without a guru. So
exactly. Right? See, if a point deserves only a very feather touch, if you go and exert 3/4 of a unit over there, you'll be damaging the point. So that is why a guru has to show you the right path and the right method of operations, which would be a better thing for a practical aspect.
Okay. So, all right. So, and also we are also planning to provide some Varma service also for people who have, like, if you want any particular treatment and other things, that is also we can arrange that. And so we can do it very properly. We look into what your body type and other things. But this is one question we have from one of the, speakers. Is one of our attendees. So Siddha, Ayurveda, like usually we look at, the Prakriti based, body type, and we apply. So like that is Varma points also to be apply. So that is his question. Is it unique, or the Varma points is unique to a Vata person versus Pitta person? Will that be different? So that's one of the questions he's asking.
Beautiful. Very happy to answer that. See, actually, what happens is even Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, they are on the fusion of the 5 basic elements like earth, fire, water, air, and space. That is always there. So what you do is, rather than straight away blindly operating the Varma points meant for a particular ailment, now what you do is you check the pulses. You find out which element is aggravated. I'm not talking about the humor. I'm not talking about Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. I'm not talking about that. That you can diagnose. Then you can diagnose which element is deranged. For example, my space element is too much, or my air element is very little, or my fire element is extreme. So what you do is you accordingly choose Varma points. So this is like based on the Prakriti, that is there. But there is no standard Prakriti. At this time of checking the pulses, at this time of diagnosis, we look at your face, we look at your tongue, we look at your eyes, we look at your skin color, we check the pulses, we look at your chakra status and so many other things. Then we choose certain Varma points to address your condition. For example, if there is too much of fire, then how can we bring down the fire? If there is very little of air element in your body, how to pep up the air element in your body? So that is how the treatment goes. So it is not like one fixed formula for everybody. So the formula really varies. That is always there.
Okay. So is Shiva, you wanted to, Dr. Shiva, you wanted to ask this question? I can open that for you. Your question is not very clear. You can rephrase the question, or you can, I will let you ask. So let me unmute you. Yes, I have unmuted you.
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir. So my
Good
question
evening.
is, so when we, I'm a Siddha doctor. So when we doing the Varma therapy, so between the patient and the doctor, so the negative energy from the patient is transferring to the doctor. So we have to take some measurements for that, like to take bathing in the water, or to keeping hands in the earth. So that kind of method, we have to energize ourselves. So even though if we energize also, we are getting some negative energies, like frequently we getting low immunity, frequently getting cold, because some students are getting happening, and also they are prone to develop many diseases, even the doctors are getting affected. So what kind of measurements we want to take to be safe as a doctor?
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. Nice question. See, I'll answer this. So like what they say is, when you check the pulse, they ask you to tap on the floor thrice so that you can ground. The second very important thing, the aspect you'll have to do is, a therapist must not become emotionally involved with the patient. That's one very important thing. The moment you're emotionally connected to the person, immediately a cord begins to form between you and the client, and energy begins to drain all the time. So it is cutting cords. It's also the spiritual side. Now, Varma has a lot of medicines, very, very common herbs, like, dry ginger powder, they call suk in Tamil. So dry ginger powder, what they say is, dry ginger powder, if you take a teaspoon of it in the afternoon, followed by hot water, that does not let energy to stagnate anywhere. That's a beautiful thing. That's a Varma medicine, actually. Chukku is used as a Varma medicine, dry ginger powder, that you can take. Now, there are various Varma concoctions. Now, remember, these medicines are not there in Siddha. These are specific, and they are very, very proprietary to Varma system of medicine. So that is there. So you can take those oils, those kashayams, all those concoctions, all those things you can consume, so that you can keep your body in a good condition. Similarly, there are certain oils manufactured by in the Varma procedure by Dr. Kannan Rajaram. He has a various range of oils, even normal Siddha doctors won't know. Are you aware of this, madam? Since you said that you are a Siddha doctor, somebody has severe osteoporosis in the knee, osteoarthritis, and the knee is really bad. They have to cut it off and they have to replace it with a prosthetic knee. Dr. Kannan Rajaram has traditional medicines in Siddha, where many Siddha doctors are not able, with 6 days. I'm repeating, 6 days of medicine with very stringent diet restrictions, patyam. That condition can be restored. Can you believe? He has restored it in 75-year-old women. That has happened. So much of things are there which where normal conventional Siddha doctors are not aware of. Since I'm with Dr. Kannan Rajaram, I'm able to do all those things. Now coming back to this point, now Dr. Kannan Rajaram has a lot of Varma recipes. Now, like there is something called as a karisalini. There is a herb which you prepare with the clarified butter of cow's clarified butter. So what you do is you apply them to the inside of your tongue. There are certain medicated oils prepared according to Varma formulations. You apply them from head to toe, and you soak for 1 hour and then take bath in hot water. That will relieve all the Varmams in the body. So there are various beautiful measures like that. Now there are juices of certain herbs that are set in the science of Varma. You can take the juices of those herbs. You can dab them from head to toe. You can leave it for 1 hour and then take bath. That will unrelieve, that unstagnate, relieve all the Varmams that are present in the body. Then they'll constitute a beautiful and harmonious flow of energies in the energy bodies too. So there are so many methods. Yes, you can help yourself, protect yourself. That's true.
Okay. Give me a second. I will. So I will answer the question for. I mean, general questions like hair loss and other things. Of course, there are. Varma is a solution for everything. I guess hormone imbalance to everything. I just want to. But the important question, yes, Mohan Priya is like, okay, books will be available in Siddha-Vetha. You can purchase. We will let you know when it's available. I'm also very much interested in the translation work. So looking forward for, because if it's available in English, that's something that that can reach everybody. That's very important. But Tamil books will be there. If you know Tamil, you can read those books. And as far as we are, yes, for the Varma, we are going to start the Varma course. And then these delights. So this is like, I think this is Dr. Deepika. Let's see. I will unmute so we can ask question. This is Dr. Deepika is a Siddha Doctor 2 from Canada. Yes, please.
Hello, Dr. Shan. Hello, Dr. Vishwa. I'm Deepika, Siddha Doctor 2. So
Hello,
I
Deepika.
had two questions. Like you mentioned diseases like Parkinson's and some motor diseases which can be cured by Varma. I also learned Varma from Kanyakumari with Dr. Arjunan, not doctor. Arjunan. And I was just wondering, like, for this, how Varma is helpful for diseases like Parkinson's, which is very challenging to cure, like how it can be treated and how what is the scope of this. And the next question is, for example, I know Varma is very good in pain management. So there are a lot of pains, like different kinds of pains, like migraine, or if we have a big wound, that kind of pain. So how is Varma different in managing those kind of different kinds of pains?
Okay, answering your questions. The first question is Parkinson's. Yes, anything. See, the flow of Vachi, the flow of vital energy to the brain is impeded. So you mitigate all the blocks and automatically the ailment comes down. That is something. See, I have personally treated an autistic patient. See, I treated that kid. He was like a 5-year-old kid, hyperactive, like hell. Really, the parents will be bleeding from their eyes. It's that bad. So I was treating them for 20 days, just 20 days. See, autistic patient, as a doctor, you will be knowing this. The patient won't establish an eye contact. In 20 days, the boy calmed down. His hyperactivity totally went away. And he was making eye contact. He was listening to what we were saying. That was a big change. But you know what happened after that? Now, they want to pull me according to their strings. For example, say they were shifting places, they were shifting cities, and they want me to come to their city and treat, which was not possible. So people are sometimes lazy. They want to bend the world according to their own needs. So that was that. So Parkinson's disease, two of my students at Sri Lanka, they have been treating Parkinson's with potential this thing. I've combined touch therapy with Varma. And Parkinson's disease for a 78-year-old lady, all those shivering of the hands, all the shivering of the head and shivering of the voice reduced by 90%, 85% the minimum. Definitely it works. Definitely it works. That is there. And the second question you asked is, second question asked is the pain management is, see, what allopathy medicine does, the modern medicine does is, it just straight away goes and suppresses the signals that are going on the central nervous system. Now, when the root cause is mitigated, automatically the pain goes away. Now, there are certain varmams that are present in various other areas. So, when you are experienced, when you look at a pain, be it an eye problem, be it rhinitis, be it a earache, be it a headache, be it a migraine, be it a hemicrania, whatever it is. So, what you do is you accordingly address and stimulate the Varma points, and when the valve opens and energy begins to flow back, everything will come down. So this is on a per condition basis. Now, for example, see, one of my students, she's a dentist in Sri Lanka. She's 30 years old. So her mother was complaining there is a headache, and she tried to do something, and the headache amplified by 20-30 times. She was like crying, "Oh, my head is going to burst." Then I went and I saw the condition, and I treated certain other points. In another 7-8 minutes, the headache totally came down. So that
Yeah.
was there. So it depends on a per cases basis, and you look at the condition and you treat the points, and out of experience, you'll automatically know.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. In that case, like, Varma is a wonderful thing. It's miraculous that how it emergency. In emergency conditions, we have this boon of Varma. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Vishwa, and yeah.
Welcome.
Okay. Well, I think we're running out of time, but let's take a last question, and then we can finish. So if you have a general question, I think autism is another area that a lot of things in US, it's increasing, and it need to be addressed. And definitely I know Varma has a solution. And so regarding the, in general, when we're talking about, all medicines will not complete, it's incomplete, we say, So there could be failure cases, and then comes the karma theory, right? So
Exactly.
Right. So we cannot really guarantee 100% of any medicine. That's definitely for sure. But I think in very statistically, even if we are looking at all the negative aspect of all the modern medicines, like in other aspects other than surgery and other areas, there are so many side effects, etc., etc. I think there are pretty good chance that if we are able to pull this out and everybody support this science, I think we may end up 80-85% chance of healing people, in the planet. And I definitely, when literature also mentions about the failure is karma, there is always karma theory that you cannot do that 15%.
Exactly.
But I think, this is the most potential science in this world. Why I know this is because I'm also in this area. I'm working for past 30 years. I learned 25 years back, there was a person who was from Kerala who gave me a shock treatment from 6 feet ago, 6 feet distance. And that's what I understood, how Varma is very effective. But the whole thing is that here, what Dr. Rajaram is giving is something very unique, is the science of how it operates. See, we have treatment-wise, there are people, many asans are there, very wonderful, they treat also. But when it comes to mechanism, how it is cured, they may be going to modern science. They don't know. Either they will, talk about, the cure, do this, do that, or they're confused with whether modern science. Most Siddha doctors are, in fact, confused with modern science, and even Ayurveda doctors also, especially wanted to explain everything in modern science. And here, the authenticity comes when a book talks about an indigenous mechanism. Mechanisms are here indigenous. They are talking about this, is what I call it as a femtoneurobiology. A femtoneurobiology is a science, it's a subtler science that is much, much smaller in scale. And because of uncertainty principle, we are not able to measure it, but we can see the effect statistically. Statistically, this can be done. If 100,000 people are pressed at a certain point, so many diseases are cured with that particular point, then this is statistical. So the science doesn't mean you have to explain everything in Western science. This is a false notion every people have. Science means, the definition of science is that you have a problem, you have a solution, you have a mechanism. This mechanism is a logic. This logic need not have to be in the Western way, because Western science is limited by Western way of thinking, because Western mind is built differently, right? So if I ask a Western person to make a rasam, and do you know anything about rasam? They wouldn't know. And you cannot explain the whole world, is pizza, made up of pizza, right? That's not the way. So here, that is why I would strongly recommend that this is not just I'm talking about for people for here, but overall, we would like to take this forward. This book should be available to everyone. especially the institutes. Every education institute should make this as a curriculum. It's very, very important, because every Siddha doctor, without undergoing this kind of training, fundamental training of mechanism, you will make a lot of mistakes when you're applying, because you wouldn't know, it's all halfway. So here, this knowledge will give you a full, complete knowledge about how to take this, and you will, everybody need to be trained somehow. And maybe one professor may not be enough, so he may train, doctor may train few people like Dr. Vishwa, and then they will train others, train the trainers, right? And that is how we have to take this forward. And we have to collaboratively work to bring, this is our science. And this is the science of the world. It's not our science means I'm talking about the world science. This has to belong to the whole world. Siddhas do not have any country, or they're beyond this country, region, etc. But at the same time, we have to look at like the community which preserve this need to be appreciated, and they have to be given the right. It's all called distributive justice. You cannot just grab something and somebody can make money out of it, take the knowledge and buy books. I have seen these things happen, change the name and give it in some other way. Or you can, make that shouldn't happen. You should value this information, give credit to people who really did this work, right? Authentic. So that I'm very supportive.
So one second, I'd like to say that for every point he says, for every relieving method, for every destagnation method, for every remedial measures, he gives a proper authentic reference. That is a point. When I say that, sir, that Asan is saying that this Varma point is over here, he very coolly will go to his library, pick up a book and show that poem written in ancient Tamil and say, Vishwa, it says this. You tell me if I'm wrong, I will correct myself. He is so humble, but he'll show. For everything, there is a very authentic reference. There are people who say that Vilangu Varmam is somewhere else, but he says Vilangu Varmam is inside. He gives that explanation beautifully in Tamil why it is called as Vilangu Varmam. So the very main thing is the authenticity. So as I told you, it is not like sitting in a place. I was meditating. God gave me all these messages. No bullshit like that. It's very, very authentic stuff, and he gives quotes for everything. If you say that this chakra has petals in this arrangement, there is a song for that. There is a poem for that written in the ancient text. So that is something special about what Dr. Kannan offers. Yeah, please continue, sir.
Definitely, sir. But also, I of course, I agree with that. But people at certain point they can also transcend. That's also possible. I'm not talking about normal people. So you can also get direct information from within, because the people who wrote the books also get direct information only. They never keep quoting, right? So at certain point.
Very, very beautifully said, sir. All those people, all the Mahasiddhas, they directly got it. But in today's world, you need to show a proof.
Exactly.
They definitely get knowledge, there is no doubt. But when you quote from the ancient scriptures, when you have a reference for every single thing in your thing, it then becomes more authentic. That's what I mean. Actually, you can get knowledge. That's true. I agree.
Yeah. So that we need to, because not that everybody is like, we know like a lot of fakers who can take it from internet and make it themselves. And, we can easily find out. So this knowledge, if this one comes out, all the fake things will go away. People who are talking about all the mechanisms and all, these things will go away. This is original knowledge, and we need to bring this. This is the most authentic science. We need to take it to the world. And I thank you for time. And, if doctor is listening, tell our Vanakkam to him, and we'll send the video link to him. So he's busily writing books. So
definitely. And my thanks to you, Dr. Shanmughamurthy, for making this possible, because you need a platform so that you need a media through which people can get to know about this divine science. It may be really huge and it may be really rosy, but it needs a propagation media. And I'm so glad that you're able to facilitate this to us. I thank God. I thank all the audience for being very patiently listening to me. Hope it was at least a bit helpful. My sincere thanks to Dr. Kannan Rajaram for providing me with unabridged knowledge of whatever he learned. He doesn't hesitate to share knowledge. He's such a nice person. Without Kannan Rajaram, Dr. Kannan Rajaram, I won't be sitting over here to say all these things and share all these things with you. So thank you so
Okay.
much. It's a privilege and
Yes,
honor.
everybody appreciated. They're saying, thank you. This is an amazing session and it's a wonderful session. Thank you so much. Everything. So all they have given in the chat button. So they are really
it's a privilege. I'm so thankful. I'm grateful.
Okay. So thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So further information we will share. You keep in touch. We're going to share like when is the course and etc. To others, to the audience. So the course we will announce, and then you can start taking this course. So this is going to be the amazing course for all of you.
Exactly.
And we're also trying to bring Dr. Rajaram and team here, and when the COVID is over, so that you can have a very practical session in different states in the United States.
True.
Okay.
True.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good night to all of you.